Hi guys, it's Miss Buck, and this is the first screencast for the year. And so I'm going to record some different screencasts all year long, so hopefully if you feel like you need to review something or you're absent, this will be a great way for you to at least get caught up on maybe just the most important part, I guess, of some of the lessons that we'll be doing. Let's see, Murphy the Maltese is down at my feet snoring away. So if you hear snoring, it's not me. It's the dog. All right, here's the first learning target for the year. I can identify the independent and dependent variables in an experiment. Even though you guys have this in 6th grade and 7th grade, we know that some of you still get them easily confused. The whole point behind this is that we're trying to get you guys ready to recognize when you have a controlled experiment and hopefully be able to design your own controlled experiment and know that you have your constants set up correctly, you have your independent variables set up correctly, and you know what you're measuring as far as your dependent variables. All right, so Okay, so a lot of times when we teach this lesson, we find that it works really well to just go ahead and give kids an example of a simple experiment. And by talking through the example, a lot of times we can help them see the independent and dependent variables. So here's our experiment. What effect does the color of light have on the growth of daisies as measured by height? All right, so there's the experiment. One thing that I like to do, I'm just going to divide my screen in half, and I'm going to think first about what this experiment would look like at the beginning. When I am first setting this up, how would I go about setting this up? All right, well, the first thing I would do is obviously I need to get something to plant my daisies in. And it says, what effect does the color of light have on the growth of daisies as measured by height? So I would probably just start out with a daisy seed. Now, don't make fun of my drawing. Everybody, you guys already know I'm no artist. But we'll pretend those are daisy seeds. So we'll start out. And I would want a lot of things to be kept the same. I'd want to have the same amount of soil. I'd want to have the same amount of water. I actually want the same amount of light. The only thing that it says that I want different, I think, is right here, that color of light. So I need, these are going to be my light bulbs. There they are. I know they don't look great, but work with me. All right, those are my light bulbs. All right, so here we go. Let's see. I'll try a green light. See if the plant likes a green light. I think I'll try a red one. That's pretty cool. I like red. Let's see. Robinson blue. We got to have some Robinson blue. Here we go. Okay. So at the beginning of the experiment, if I just draw the picture and think about it, there's only one thing that's different. And the one thing that's different is the color of light. Well, the one thing that is different when you set up your experiment at the beginning, the one thing that is different is your independent variable. So in this experiment, my independent variable is just the color of light. That's the one thing that's different. All right, now, I don't know how long I would do this experiment, but I know at some point I would either say that this trial or this experiment has ended, and I'm going to measure something. So I always tell kids, think about what is it that you're being asked to measure or observe at the end of a trial or the end of the experiment. Well, in this case, I'm being asked to measure height. So again, I would have my setup, and we'll say we have a little short daisy here. I really don't know what the actual results of this experiment would be. It'd be a fun one to do. I'll say the blue one just never even got out of the box. There we go. And so at the end of my experiment, if here's my blue light, and here's my red light again. There it is. Yay. Got some red light going on. Maybe I'll get some red light going on. Maybe not. Yay, finally. and some green light. All right, there we go. All right, so at the end of the experiment, the thing that I'm measuring is height, and so that is my dependent variable. All right, so here's the definitions then. Your independent variable, what the scientist makes different at the beginning of the experiment, and the one I just did, it was color of light. Again, draw a picture. Always great to draw a picture if you can. This is the one variable you want to test. It's the thing that you as the scientist have control of making different. You want to know how your independent variable is going to affect your dependent variable. Dependent variable, again, I just tell kids, ask yourself, what is it I'm going to measure or observe at the end of the experiment? And usually that will tell you your dependent variable. So let's do some practice. Here we go. Really simple. Faith wants to test different brands of bubble gum to see which one makes the biggest bubbles. Think about if I asked you to do that experiment, and guess what? Some of your classes did get to do that experiment. And so the independent variable, what would be the thing that you would make different at the beginning? Well, the thing that you're going to make different at the beginning is right here. The thing that you are going to make different is different brands of bubble gum. There you go. So that's your independent variable. The dependent variable, ask yourself, in this experiment, what is it that I'm measuring or observing at the end? What would I actually measure? Well, I would be measuring the bubbles. I want to know the size of the bubbles. So I'm looking for an experiment to determine the effect of the brand of bubble gum on the size of the bubble that's produced. And there's your dependent variable. We'll do one more. Andrew wants to see which kind of plant food makes his tomato plants grow the tallest. All right, if I was setting this up, I would start with tomato seeds, probably. Same amount of soil, same amount of water. But there's something I'm going to make different. I want to, I assume, give each of the plants a different type of plant food. Now, I don't know a lot about plant foods. I don't garden. I know Miracle-Gro, I think, is one. And I would probably have a control plant that did not receive any plant food. And then I would maybe have another brand of plant food. So it seems like what would be different at the beginning, again, is going to be the kind of plant food. So I'll just use the word type instead of kind. And then, again, ask yourself the question at the end of the experiment, what is it that you would measure? Well, right here, it says I want to know which tomato plants will grow the tallest. So the dependent variable would be the height of the tomato plant. And so as a check, let me make sure this has good common sense. Is this experiment going to be about how the type of plant food will affect the height of a tomato plant? That sounds correct. All right, well, that's the end of the first screencast. Not sure what I'll do the second one on. Might be on measurement. Hope this, guys, will help you. Let me know. Be nice. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.